You've often heard me say that if you want to know if something is working, you gotta do a check-in. You've got to do an evaluation. You've got to look at it from the different sides and see if it's giving you what you thought it was giving you, what you thought you should have had, what you thought you should be getting. And that's what we're going to be spending the time tonight talking about. Hey, looking back at the year and what are we getting? Did we get what we want? What have we learned? And how do we set ourselves up for success in the future? Hey, if you're new to me, I'm Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here on the channel, I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health, take charge of your life, avoid complications, and go to the next level. And in this year, new you. I'm talking to adults with type 2 diabetes who want to reverse their diabetes, who want to put their diabetes in remission, get off of medication, improve their metabolic health, and just be healthy in the future. Hey, if you're new to me as well, go ahead and put new in the comments because I'd love to welcome you with a hand clap and some music and let you know that we are excited that you are in this space with us. If you have questions as we go throughout the show, go ahead and drop those in the comments because we'd love to get to them. And make sure you put a Q in front of the question so we know that that's one that we need to get to as I search through the comments that are there. Wherever you are joining us from, you guys know how we do. I've got my monitors that we're going to be taking a look at here in just a minute. And right below me, well, it's supposed to be right below me is supposed to be my Dexcom Clarity, but we'll see. We'll get that here in just a little bit. All right. And wherever you are, whatever platform you're on, thank you for being here in this space with us. Right now, we should be streaming to Instagram, should be streaming to LinkedIn and Twitch and Facebook, and of course here on YouTube. So thank you for coming through. I do see some of our community members that are out there. We're going to hop over and say hello here in just a little while. If you know somebody who should be here and you don't see them, let them know, come on, because we're in the saddle right now for Dwain Woode MD Live. And let me see if I can pop this over just a minute. I can see, okay, so that one I can see comments, but why am I not able to see it on this other one? Hold on a second. Let's do this. Boom, there we are. Okay, now we got it. So we're gonna go back here. And all right, so here we are. So there we go. So now you see over to my side, you should see my meters. And then right down below me, you'll see that is my Dexcom Clarity report. And so let's hop over and let's say hello to some of our community members. I see some folks out there. So Jennifer says, hey, Steve, hope your holiday was good. And that's right, everybody. We are right after the holidays. Lots of good food and good stuff. Teresa said, hey, doctor and everyone. Steve said, did good. Only ate turkey and 1 tablespoon of dressing. I hope you feasted. Steve said, hello, Teresa. Hey, Cornelia, how are you? She says, hello, everyone. And Teresa saying, hey, Steve. Hey, Cornelia. Jennifer says, hello, all. My holiday was family filled. We raised the turkey for the family. It was a big one. Yeah, Jennifer's always like doing good stuff out there. So Lightworks is saying, hey, family. Steve, hey, Lightworks. Cornelia say, hey, Light. Teresa say, hey, Lightworks. And everybody, I just love the community. Everybody's just saying hello to each other. Jennifer is saying hi to everybody. Cornelia says, I'm glad you all enjoyed your Thanksgiving. And hi, Jennifer and Steve. And so this is a good time to actually talk about Thanksgiving. So I told you guys that I bought a smoker and had an amazing time with the smoker. I've had the smoker, I guess I told you guys about that about a week and a half ago, and I've already used it 5 times. Yes, I did. As a matter of fact, I had a turkey. We were supposed to do 2 turkeys, but we ended up, I spat-cocked one, cut it in half in the smoker, half in the oven. And when the one from the smoker came out, it was so good. We teared that thing up. We ate it up. And then I went and grabbed the piece that we did, or the half that we did in the oven, and put it in the smoker. So, and then last night again, I did some more chicken. I didn't do turkey, but yeah. So it was amazing. I got a chance to spend it with family and with friends. So for everyone that's out there, glad that you had a great, hope you had a great Thanksgiving and are in the season, right? The season. So I grew up in Brooklyn. And growing up in Brooklyn and New York, you know, we would go downtown Brooklyn. And back in those days, you had Woolworths and Macy's and all the stuff you see on TV and all those Christmas programs. Yeah, that's what it was like. And so, so Christmas and the holidays are a big time for me. I love them. I love the feel that you get. I love all the things that are surrounding them. And of course, that my dad was a big eggnog maker, and I did not go to get any eggnog this week. You guys would be so proud of me. All right. Well, let's take a look at blood sugars. Let's take a look at where we are, and then we'll come back, jump into our conversation, and go from there. So first, let's take a look at what this is. What you see on the screen, this is my Freestyle Libre. Right now it's saying 105, and you'll see earlier in the day we were right above 150, 170, I think, and we'll see that when we take a look at the Dexcom. But right around noon we dropped below 150, and then right now about 105. Okay, so that's where we are, and this is the Dexcom Clarity. This is my 24-hour, and let's see. There we go. So 140s, 150s. Right around midnight, we were up actually 180, and that was we finished smoking late yesterday. 160s, and right around noon, just like with the Libre, we dropped below 150. And then continue to drop down to 101. And actually, look at that. The Libre says 10. What did it say? 105. So the Dexcom is actually lower. And normally, if you guys remember, the Dexcom is usually the one that's higher. So that's interesting that it's actually lower here. All right. So let's go ahead and so that's my those are my CGMs. And as you know. Let's see. I don't know if you guys can see that. Can you see? Yeah, I've got two. One on the back of each arm. One is a Libre, and one, of course, is a Dexcom. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at what my monitors are saying. And I'm having some kind of craziness going on with my lights, but that's okay. All right. So Keto Mojo and Contour, and let's go ahead and grab a strip for the Contour. As you know, the Contour gives you just blood sugar, and of course the Keto Mojo gives you both blood sugar and ketones. Let's get that in. And let's do this view so you have more of a view. And then I've got my this is the strip for ketones, blood sugar, and then the strip for ketones. Let's go ahead and open this one up. Get that in, and then this one I'm going to open as well because I don't want to have to stick myself again. And we'll just take this one and we'll keep it off to the side over here. All right, and then grab a handy dandy lancet from my container. Let's see, where's the ones I like these ones. And these are just this is a twist off. You twist the top off, and once you do that, you'll see the little, let's see if I do this one right here. See a little needle right there, right? And let's go ahead and do a poke, finger stick. Ow, 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 ow. And I don't think, even though okay, well, maybe, yeah, drop of blood. Let's go ahead and get that started. And I hope I don't have to. Okay, that one. It took a minute to start. Took a minute to start coming out. And so the contour, the Keto Mojo says 94. And let me move that down a little bit because it's a little glare. And then the contour says 101. Let's get this strip out. Get this guy in, and that will be my ketones. So go ahead, if you have a guess, drop in the comments. What do you think my ketones are going to be? And I am not, so I've been eating, all right, so eating Thanksgiving and so forth. I haven't had anything to eat since yesterday, maybe 11 o'clock, 10 or 11 o'clock. So what do you think my ketones are going to be? Go ahead and drop those in the comments if you think you know. All right, so that's where we are. So for everyone, just a couple of comments, and just as we move into more holidays, as we come out of this holiday, and I think I may have mentioned this in the check-in that we did on Friday, and I'm going to say it again, and I want you to hear me. The past is the past. What happened last week, right, happened. And we are now moving forward. And in fact, that's one of the thrusts that we have as we're talking in this topic for this episode is how do we reflect to go forward, right? So there's a bright future ahead. But just to make that comment, I want to make sure that I say that what happened then, it's over. Yeah, we're moving on. We're not dwelling. We're not staying there. And that's the whole idea behind what we are going to continue to be pushing and pressing as we move into our new season, is this idea of unlimited potential and living limitlessly, right? You unlimited, basically, is what it is. You don't have any limits when it comes to making decisions for your health. All right. So bright future. That's what we're talking about. And one of the things that we talk about often, and you'll hear me say it, and a couple of years ago, not this past year, but the year before, a big thrust of the channel was this idea of letting go. Right? Letting go of the past, letting go of memories, letting go of hurts, letting go of anger, letting go of preconceived ideas, this idea of letting go so that we can move forward. And so with everyone talking about letting go, the question then comes, well, if we're talking about letting go, why are we looking backwards? Why are we looking into the past? And there are several reasons that we're looking into the past. And so we are reflecting on the past to move forward, right? So that's the whole idea behind what we're doing, reflecting so that we can move forward. And we're reflecting on 2024. We're reflecting on 2024 so that we can move into a stronger position and set ourselves up for success as we move into 2025. Okay, so that's what we're doing. So we're reflecting on the past. We're looking at the things that happened in the past. We're looking at things that we did, things that we learned, so that we can now move into a better future. And specifically here, we're talking about health. We're talking about diabetes, reversing diabetes, metabolic syndrome, and all those things that you've heard us mention over and over. But this idea of reflecting to move forward is universal. In fact, there are companies right now that are in the process of looking at their year. They're looking at the bottom line. They're looking at the things that they've done. And they are evaluating all those things as they move into their next quarter. Last year, we did a series of shows where we talked about Q4 winning moves for the last 3 months of the year. We did a entire series where we talked about what do we do as we look at what's happening now, as we look at what we've done in the past, and as we look towards the future to be successful. So reflecting and moving into the future, into better health is what we're talking about. And so reflection is a bridge to growth. Reflection is a bridge to growth. So why do we want to reflect? We reflect on the past. Why do we want to reflect on the past? We reflect on the past because it allows us lots of different features. It allows us some enhancement. It gives us power. And one of the things it allows us to do is it allows us to become more aware. When we can look at what we've done in the past, when we can look at the procedures that we've done, if we can look at the path that we've been on, then it sets us up for being more cognizant, more aware of the things that have happened, the things that we've done, and what we can do moving into the future, right? So number one, it enhances self-awareness. Then it allows us to learn from experience. Often we repeat things over and over and over, but this reflection allows us to look back and say, okay, what happened? What were those things that worked well? What were those things that didn't work well? What are those things that we've got to switch and change and adjust so that we can learn from that? Because if we don't learn from that, then we're bound to repeat it again or repeat it. Reflecting allows us to align our goals with our values. Are the things that we say we stand for, are those the things that are reflected in the goals that we say that we have, right? When we did the SMART goal, when we went through the process of coming up with goals, right? Are they specific? Are they measurable? Are they achievable? Are they relevant? And are they time bound? SMART, SMART. So do the values align with the goals? And as we're talking about reversing diabetes and improving metabolic health and losing weight and all the things that we've done, right? Let's look back and let's say, hey, what are the things that we say we want in our lives, the values that we have, and do those align with the things that we say are our goals? Okay. It also allows us, when we reflect, it also allows us to build resilience and emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is that idea of being able to know where I am emotionally in relation to those people and things around me, understanding where they are in their emotions, and being able to use that to help me be successful. Emotional intelligence. And then, of course, it allows us, when we've done this, it allows us to plan strategically as we move into the future and set ourselves up for more and more success, right? So reflection turns experiences into insights. It empowers you to create a better future. So experience now, we've had all this experience. It allows us to turn that into insights, and that empowers us to create a better future. Remember, we're always talking about educating, empowering, and encouraging. Empowering, that empowerment comes from the tools that we learn, because you can learn a bunch of stuff, but if you don't have tools to apply them, then it's just stuff you've learned. And so this idea of reflection is another tool in our toolbox to transform those experiences that we've had, those experiences, those things that we've done, those ideas that we have in our head, turn those into insights, and gives us the vision and the power to move into the future. So wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so that's the benefit of reflection. So let's kind of run through those again. So enhances our awareness. So that's one of the things that experiences does. So deliberate reflection allows us to assess our actions, assess our decisions, assess the outcomes, and this leads to a deeper understanding of our personal strengths, the areas that we have for improvement. It helps to heighten self-awareness, and it is crucial for our continued personal development, and it allows us to make better decisions. When we look back, right? Once again, we're looking at our actions. We're not just looking in isolation. Look at the things that we did, the things that we didn't do, the things we said we were going to do, the things that we were consistent in, the things that we weren't consistent in. So looking at all of those, and we're not looking at this with judgment. We're looking at it objectively. Often when we are evaluating ourselves, evaluating the past, we will look at things and we will put a judgment to it. And because we put a judgment to it, our brain doesn't want to go there. Right? Because we think, oh, we didn't do a good job, or we feel a certain way about ourselves and how we did that and how we interacted. And so the brain basically says, let's ignore that. Let's procrastinate on that. Let's not even touch that. But we're reflecting because we want to become self-aware. So when we reflect with self-awareness, it allows us to go deeper. It allows us to look at these things objectively, the procedures, the plans, the things we did, the things we didn't do, and it allows us to become more aware so that we can set ourselves up for better success and make better decisions into the future. Okay, so enhances self-awareness. Once again, remember, reflection turns experience into insight, and it empowers us to create a better future. The other thing, it facilitates learning and learning from experiences. Learning from experiences. So by analyzing what we've done, the experiences we've gone through, both successes and challenges, we can extract valuable lessons from those. One of the things that I learned recently, I was watching a guy that I follow, and he made an interesting point that I did not really catch before. But the day he said this was so profound to me that it actually changed the way I started looking at some things. So he's a content creator, and someone asked him how he could stop people from unsubscribing to their channel. Right, so if someone has a channel and they were having people subscribe to the channel and they were unsubscribing, and so the person's question was, how do I set it up so people don't unsubscribe? And he thought for a minute, and he said, I don't know that you necessarily want them to unsubscribe. And when he first started talking, I was like, wait a minute, what is he saying? And his point was this. If you've moved someone so much that they've subscribed and then they unsubscribed, they've had a reaction to you. They've had a reaction to your content. Most people, they will subscribe, and if they don't like what you're doing, right? Think about it, in wherever you are, in whatever space, whatever your area is, most people would not say anything. Right? You did something wrong, and they just, you're over there, and you actually never know that you did something to offend them or upset them. You're in a group, and the group is not really going the way you want it to go. And most people would either stay in the group, or after a while, they kind of disappear. But to have someone actually go and hit the button to unsubscribe means that you have affected that person. Right? You've made a change in their thought. And that person now self-selects out of your group. They're not your people. But most of us would look at that as a failure. And so when we're reflecting, we get to have a front row seat at what has gone on with us over the course of the year. And we get to look at that objectively and say, wait a minute, look at this thing that happened. I learned from that. That was a win. Ha, yay! Right? And this other thing over here that happened, well, that didn't go quite so well, but what can I learn about that? And we can now apply that information, apply that knowledge to our future. It gives us insights. It helps us facilitate, it helps us learn from those experiences that we've had in the past over the previous year. So when we're looking back over the year, that's one of the things we're looking at. Okay, what are the successes? What are the places that we didn't quite do so well? Okay. It also aligns our goals with personal values. Aligns our goals with personal values. Reflecting on past achievements and setbacks helps in realigning our future goals with our personal values and aspirations. So when we achieve something or we didn't achieve something, we have to go back and say, okay, is the fact that I achieved that, now that I have it, is it really the thing that aligns with my goals, aligns with my values, that is? And if I didn't achieve it, am I still going to go after it? And does it still align with my values? So notice what has to happen. You have to understand you first. You have to understand who you are and what you're looking for. You have to understand the health goals that you have, right? We're looking for reversing diabetes. We're looking for improving our health, our metabolic syndrome. We're looking for weight loss. We're looking to get off of medications. And are the things that I'm doing, are the goals that I have, are they aligned with my value? So the alignment ensures that the efforts that you're doing are directed towards meaningful and fulfilling objectives. So that when you do have times where things may not go the way you want them to go, where you are in the process of, one of those times, those humps, those bumps that you will run into, and you're like, okay, well, I know that this is not where I want to be, but my goal is there. And that gives me the ability to move through it because the goal that I have is aligned with my value, and the energy that I'm putting in is with the idea of moving the needle forward. So remember, reflection turns experiences into highlights or into insights, and it empowers you to create a better future. Okay? Also, when we reflect, it informs our strategic planning. It informs our strategic planning. So when we engage in self-reflection, it enhances emotional stability, it fosters self-awareness, as we've said, and also self-regulation. This allows you to contribute or be able to do better stress management, better resilience. It allows you to be more flexible, right? So because we're looking at all the things that have happened, all the things that we've done, all the places we've gone through, all the procedures we've had. And we're going to run through some of those here in just a little while. But all of those allow us to, in the future, be better at what we say we want to do, because it gives us the energy, it gives us the power of all the things that we've just looked for. Right? So it informs, it enhances our self-reflection. It enhances our ability to move into the future. So although the year end provides a foundation for that, we should be doing that as we move through the year. Right now, there are companies that are sitting down and they're looking back at the things that they did for this year. They're looking at their processes, their procedures. They're looking at their income. They're looking at their bottom line. They're looking at staffing. They're looking at team members. Right? So all of this stuff, they're looking back because they want to know, how am I going to be successful in the future? Are there things that I need to drop? Are there products that aren't working? Are there marketing strategies? Are there promotions? Are there something going on that we need to kind of get out of? Or do we continue to move in this direction because it aligns with who we say we are? And the same thing has to happen in our lives. The same thing has to happen in our metabolic space. So what do we take away from this? So incorporating regular reflection into your routine not only aids in personal growth, but also it equips you with the insights that you need to navigate future challenges effectively. So being in the space, looking objectively, right? Not with any judgment, it allows us to move into the future with success. With success. So, what path have we been on? What path have we been on? We've been on the New Year, New You path to reverse our diabetes. And so there are several episodes that we've done, right? So over the year, Dwain Woode MD Live. And so the path really kind of breaks down into a few categories, 6 to be exact, right? So number 1, laying the foundation. Laying the foundation. So whenever you're doing anything, the foundation is the important thing. So if you don't have a good foundation, then whatever's built on top of that doesn't work. You're building a house, right? So around here, there's a lot of building going on, right? So we've got Toyota that's moved in. We've got the FBI that's moved into town. We've got the Arsenal that's here. We've got tech companies that have moved here. And so a lot of building is happening. And so one of the things I always like to see when I'm driving, and I guess I should go into construction, but I love to see when they're pouring the foundation, right? If this is not particularly if it doesn't have a crawl space, it's just a slab, right? They come and you can tell that they're very meticulous when they're doing that. Because if the foundation doesn't get set, it's kind of like when we were in school. Right? As we move through school, there are some foundational things that you have to learn before you can move into more advanced concepts. If you're doing math, right, you got to learn numbers. You got to learn variables, right? You got to learn addition and subtraction. And then you go to algebra, right? And then you move on to higher math. One of my favorite classes was modern algebra. Anyway, that's a whole nother. Right? So you're laying foundation and then you move up. So in our path, in the New Year, New You path, we laid the foundation. We'll walk through some of that. And then understanding the science of our body, understanding how our body works, how food interacts with it, how hormones work, and then build sustainable habits. So if you understand, and I've said this over and over and over, I'm going to say it again, most often, people don't have difficulty succeeding, not because they don't have drive, not because they don't have know-how, not because they don't have a vision. They don't succeed because they don't have structure. And structure needs sustainable habits if we're going to be successful. And those habits have to be ingrained. Two things. When I talk to the military guys that I see here in town or friends of mine, what they tell me is in order to be successful, you have to have practice. You have to do it over and over and over and over. That's how you can get a group of people whose natural tendency is to run from danger, to run in the opposite direction. You can get them in battle to move towards danger. Because it's a practiced thing. And then the other thing, right? So practice and community. So that platoon that's there, that platoon works together because one guy is relying on this gal behind him and this gal is relying on that person, and we get to rely on each other because a person by themselves may not be up to moving towards danger, but with a group who are all in the unit, who are all trained, who are all capable, we get to rely on each other and move forward. So building sustainable habits. And then overcoming barriers. You got to learn how to overcome barriers. What do I do when things don't quite go the way I thought they would work or the way they thought they would go? Talking about the path that we've been on. And then taking control and thriving. How do we do that? Now that we've learned some stuff, how do we take control of that and how do we move to the future? And then, of course, reflection and looking forward. What do we do in terms of being successful? That's the New Year, New You path that we've been on, that you've been on. So phase one Phase one of the New Year, New You path, laying the foundation. So what are the first steps? Right? So walking through this process. What are the first steps to a healthier you? As we're thinking about where we want to be, as we think about, and people who may be joining for the first time, where you want to be, what are the first things that we've got to understand if we're going to be successful? Okay. One of the big tools that we learn, right? Can fasting rapidly lower your blood sugar? And the answer is yes, it can. Yes, it can. What diabetes medications should you be on? Which ones should you come off of? Right? So once again, we're laying the foundation, understanding what insulin is. What are the core defects in the body? What are the things that certain medications will do? How do we mitigate that? All that's kind of part of the foundation of what we're doing. How to adjust those medications, what conversations to have with our doctors, and then how to set goals, for our health, right? Remember, SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, right? So we're laying the foundation for what we need to do. Phase two was understanding the science of the body. Right? What is mindful eating, and why is that key to what we're doing? How do we clean up our environment? We talked about the heat model. How do we clean up our environment so that it does not push us, so it doesn't trigger us? How do we reprogram our taste buds so that we are now able to enjoy the things that we say, oh man, that tastes, I don't like how that tastes. How does stress affect us? How does stress affect our hormones? How does fat help our hunger? How does protein, right? How do ketones? Remember, we did that in our series. And what foods are telling my body? Because the food it's not just nutrition, but there are signals, there are hormonal signals. There are other things that the body understands when we eat that food. And so we think, oh, it's just the calories. Well, the calories we've adjusted, but the fact that that calorie has a big spike in my blood sugar has another signal aside from the calories. So understanding all of these, very important. And then what labs do we get? What labs should we get for managing diabetes? And then how do we build sustainable habits? Because we got to put all that stuff into practice. So mastering habits to reverse diabetes, how to create a 7-day menu, right? So building those habits, right? Balanced bites. When we did a portobello mushroom steak with sauteed tofu and cauliflower rice, and how to make a cauliflower pizza, all of those with sausage and cheese, all of those things are things that you want to begin incorporating into your life, incorporating into your routine, so that you're building these habits, so that it's not, oh man, what am I going to do now? Because if you have to make a decision in the moment, the decision you make is not always the decision you want to make. Where do calories fit in? Can exercise make up for a poor diet? Right? So we're walking through the process of building sustainable habits, and then how diet and exercise work together. You get a bigger bang for your buck in the kitchen than you do in the gym, but they do work together. We do not want to exclude exercising. Phase 4, overcoming barriers, right? How to navigate food triggers, the habit. The habits, emotions, access, and taste. The heat model. So how to overcome food triggers. Why are you really eating? What is causing the eating? It is not the food, right? Because you're not hungry. It is a craving. It is a desire. It is the emotion. It is the access. It's boredom. It's being tired. It's that memory that you have. So how do you overcome those? We overcome those with the coping model. Are you coping with life, or are you avoiding it? All right, so it's phase 4. Phase 4. And then phase 5 was taking control and thriving. Taking control and thriving. And we walk through the pillars. Remember, the first pillar is decreasing insulin, suppressing appetite, and reducing sugar. That's taking control, understanding all those components. And how do we do? What do we do? What are the mechanisms that we have in place to be able to affect all of that? And then in phase 6, let's say phase 5, what's phase 6, what we're doing right now is talking about how do we look at everything that's going on? How do we get back on track if we've moved off track? How do we become successful as we move forward, right? So we go through the entire process, the entire journey, and a lot of times people will, just when they're about to get that benefit, they give up. Right? I shared my 1-year journey to reverse my diabetes that took 25 years in the making. So it is a process. Negotiating, navigating the holidays, Thanksgiving gratitude, being thankful for what you are, and living that limitless life. And of course, reflecting as we move into the future. So the path is laid out. So anyone who's coming, anyone who is joining, anyone who is looking at the channel, looking at the thing that we've done, that's what we've done. Right? We established the foundation, understanding what our motivation is, understanding what we want. We move into building our understanding of the body, the science behind it, understanding how the body works, what the body needs. Then we transition to establishing long-term sustainable habits. We address emotional, psychological barriers that we've got to get through. And then we begin building that mastery with the 3 pillars, right? We're over and over and over and over. We got to practice. And then we begin reflecting. Okay, what are the things that we need to change? What are the things we need to adjust as we move into the future? Okay? And so remember, New Year, New You. This structure creates a natural flow through New Year, New You. The New Year, New You journey provides a clear pathway. This structure provides a clear pathway for New Year, New You. So as you are looking back into the future, if you're looking back over the year, looking back over the things that you've done, if you're sharing this with anyone, this is the path. This is the process that we go through. New Year, New You. So incorporating regular reflection into your routine not only aids in personal growth, but also it equips you with insights to navigate future challenges effectively. So let's talk a little bit about the celebration, right? And all the things that we've had. So the goal is reversing diabetes. Well, we've had so much that have happened in our community. Weight loss. So members have shed pounds, embracing healthier lifestyles. Over 40, 50, 60, 70 pounds. As one of our community members alerted me or taught me, the Wonderland. People are, for the first time in years, have weights that are below 200. The Wonderland. Lowering A1Cs. Bringing them down into target range, right? Below 7. And for several people, bringing those A1Cs down into the remission range, that reversal range, 5.7 and lower. Improve sugar management. So consistent efforts that they've had that led to a healthier blood sugar levels. And then freedom from insulin. Some people have gotten off insulin, gotten off their insulin pump, gotten off with all medications. And you guys have watched as we have had interaction with our community, as they have done an amazing job of moving through the space. And then not only have we had diabetes and blood sugar benefits, but just feeling better than they have in years because their blood sugars are better, because the cells are getting the energy that they need. They feel new vitality, more confidence, right? You guys ever, is it Death of a Salesman? If you're out there, if you anybody, you literature folks, Death of a Salesman, clothes make the man. So when you feel better, when you have more energy, when you're sleeping better, when you have better confidence, when you've lost some weight, you walk differently, you talk differently, you look differently, you have some vitality in you. And so not only is reversing diabetes with all these other metabolic benefits, but also just your well-being. Right? Enhanced well-being. Pain management, pain reduction, improved metabolism, losing weight, improved blood sugar, decreases inflammation, and that all can lead to better quality of life because we don't have all the weight on the joints. We don't have the inflammatory things going on in the joints, and so people are feeling better. Better sleep because they don't have sleep apnea, because they're not snoring. Right? So now they have better quality of sleep, they have better quality of interaction with their spouse, and because they've lost weight, because they're getting better sleep, testosterone gets made for guys during deep sleep, and now they have better sexual function. Now, we haven't talked about that one, right? Right? So that is a natural outgrowth of treating diabetes, reversing diabetes. So all of these are benefits that we get. So together, we've proven that health and hope are possible no matter the challenges, no matter where you are, no matter what you've done in the past, no matter the mistakes that you think you've had, you can have better future. You can have a better future. And so we've learned several things as we move through the year. So new year, new you, right? The overriding theory or overriding journey that we've been on. Things from the heat model, right? The fasting that we've done, all the amazing benefits that we've had from fasting. This year, we launched the This Week in Review. You guys have been a part of that. The pillars, right? Learning the pillars, understanding, decreasing insulin, suppressing appetite, reducing sugar. This idea of being unlimited in our potential, the ability to make changes, the ability to chart our destiny. The Triple E formula for success, which underlies much of what we do. In fact, all of what we do. Educating, empowering, and encouraging. Are you coping with life or are you avoiding life? Are you taking control of your life? We learned about the hacks, right? Vinegar, and we learned about cooking. We learned about how to put things together. We learned about and of course, as soon as I said that, when I proteins and carbs and fat and ketones and how they affect our hunger, and retrogradation, right? That is cooking your food a day ahead, particularly those high carb things, pasta, rice, potatoes, putting it in the refrigerator, and then when you warm it up tomorrow, your body doesn't absorb as much of the carbs. All right? So all of those are things that we learn as we move through the year. So as we're looking back, our goal is to set ourselves up for success. And the deeper dive that we do as we move into the future, as we move into the new season, as we move into the new year, the deeper dive is a thing that I want you to continue to understand, that new year, new you does not end. New year, new you does not end. New year, new you gets even better. New year, new you empowers us New year, new you drives us as we move into what we're going to be doing into the future. New year, new you gives power. New year, new you gives energy. It gives life as we move into our new season. Limitless living. That's powered by the new year, new you. The basis, the foundation of all the things that we've done, all the things we've done are the foundation for us now saying there are no limits to what I can do in my health. There are no limits to the decisions I can make. There are no limits to what I am going to decide that I'm going to do. I'm not talking about a New Year's resolution. I'm not talking about deciding that I'm going to do something for a month or a week or 2 weeks or 3 months or 4 months. I'm talking about living in a way that we're making food choices, activity choices, emotional choices, that we are learning, that we are expanding, that we're letting go of things in the past, things that push us, those buttons that get pushed. We are moving beyond that. Because new year, new you, we've developed a new us. And so now, what do? We've got to go deeper. Now we begin to chip away at some of the places that we did not want to look at before. Those little things that we say, okay, that's just my thing. That's just me. That's my weakness. Right? We got to look at that. So that we are making decisions into the future that sets us up for metabolic success. Remember, we're talking about reversing diabetes. And reversing diabetes does not mean that we reverse diabetes, everything is good, and we can go back and do all the things that we did before. No. We're reversing diabetes, and we are mindful. And you guys have seen in the space that there are no limits placed on what you eat, when you eat. The limits are, what does that do to your body? What have you put in place to mitigate what happens? So limitless living says that I am not placing any limits on what I can and will do as I move into the future, because I am in the process of becoming metabolically healthy. I'm in the process of causing my diabetes to go in remission. I'm in the process of reversing my diabetes. So as we look into the past, understanding what we've done, understanding the procedures, understanding what the benefits are, helping ourselves become more emotionally intelligent, helping ourselves to begin strategically planning into the future, helping ourselves understand that there is a process, that there is growth, that there is personal equipping that happens. There are insights that I can get from looking back there. Things may not have gone the way I thought they were going to go. They may not have evolved as quickly as I thought they were, but they are evolving. We're seeing benefits. We're seeing weight loss. We're seeing insulin sensitivity, getting off of medications, getting off of insulin pumps. We're seeing people who are saying, my goodness, for the first time in years, I feel better. I'm sleeping better. I have I have more energy. I'm not snoring. I have a better sex life. All of that comes as we reflect on the past and we move into a better future for our health. New year, new you. New year, new me. And we're making decisions because we're living a limitless life as we move into the future for our success. Awesome. All right. So I think I saw some questions as we moved. So let me hop over and let's do that. I think I saw one from Juyan. Let's see, Liz. Everybody's saying hello. Okay, so here's Juyeon. She said, hi, doctor and everyone. Teresa says she thinks my ketones are going to be 0.7. Juyeon said, I'm sorry, I'm late. You're not late. You're right on time, Juyeon. And I think I saw someone that put 0.3 somewhere. So 0.7 is one guess. Teresa said, smoker, yummy. Jennifer said, ooh, smoked meat. I haven't gotten into that yet. Oh, you're going to get hooked, Jennifer. And with all the food meat that you guys have out there, oh, fresh also. Steve say hello, Cornelia. Let's see. Okay. Oh, yeah, so Steve says 0.3. Cornelia saying hi, Jiyeon. And Lightworks, I think, yeah, that's the one I saw, 0.2. Teresa saying hello. Hi, Cornelia. I've missed you all. Jiyeon is saying I've missed you all. The holiday kept me away. So Jennifer says the holiday kept me away. So miss you all too. Jiyeon says sometimes I hate myself. Can't control my eating habit. That binge eating. Yeah. So we're gonna spend some time talking about some of that as we move into our limitless living. Couldn't make fasting so far. That's okay. And so here's a question: what do you think of butter with coffee? I heard eating tons of butter can suppress appetite, even coffee. So if you've been around, you heard us do our show where we talked about the effects of proteins, ketones, and fat on appetite. So certainly eating lots of fat slows the GI tract. It releases CCK, which is the cholecystokinin, which is the hormone that says I'm full. All of that will help. So I know there's a certain physician that I see and follow sometimes who advocates eating butter, like a stick of butter. It can help. I never say to people, don't do what works. Just be careful as you are doing that, because there can be ramifications depending on the type of butter, ramifications for heart, right? So there can be some heart issues there. So, but remember, fat will slow the GI tract. Fat will help you feel fuller longer. Fat will suppress the appetite. It releases CCK that tells your body or your brain that you're full. Okay. Jiyeon says, Jennifer, what is your daily basic eating? What does it look like? Jennifer, I wonder what is your eating. Okay, so she's asking Jennifer what is she eating? I think every day, new year, new you. All right. So new year, new you. Once again, it is not a one or done. So even as we get into the new season, right, we're talking about limitless living, right? You will see limitless living powered by new year, new you. You'll see limitless living, or you'll see balanced bites powered by new year, new you. So new year, new you is the basis for all the things that we are going to be doing, all the places that we're going to be going. It is undergirded by the new year, new you process. Okay, so as you are seeing people are coming in, you're joining, you're sharing with people. You want them to see, you want them to go through the process, new year, new you, understanding that, so that they can have that foundation as we move into other things that we're going to be doing. Awesome. All right. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at my ketones. Let's see what my ketones are. And I didn't even get a chance to look at it when it came up. All right. So I've got here's my monitor. So go ahead and turn that on and then get this synced. Get that synced. And drum roll, please. Drum roll. And so glucose was 994 and ketones were 0.3. So let's see. I think Lightwork says 0.2, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And then Steve. Wow. Steve says 0.3. Look at you. Come on. Steve is right on point. I love that. I love that. Okay. And then now let's take a look at my monitor. Right. This is going to be my Dexcom. If I can, as you know, whenever I talk, it logs out. Okay. Okay, let's get back in there. And I'm going to be taking a look at this. Okay. So that's where we're heading. And let's go ahead and hop over there right now. Let's do this one. All right. So you'll see there on the screen that my average blood sugar over the last 2 weeks is 155. Right, 155. And you guys know, as we are in the holiday season, there it is. 155 last 2 weeks. I'm in target 79% of the time. Target being 70 to 180. Let me move this off to the side a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. 70 to 180. My glucose management indicator is 7.0. So if I were to get an A1C, that's what it would approximate. If I take a look at my 90-day average, that should be like 135 or something like that, 132. Okay. In target, 89% of the time, target being 70 to 180. If I got an A1C based on this, it would be 6.5. So I have a doctor's appointment coming up in January. Okay. So we'll see what that A1C is. So I've got another month and a half maybe before I get to see them. So we'll be taking a look at that. And of course, the holidays, like I have some patients who come to see me, and they refuse to come to see me in January because they said all the things that they've done in over the holidays will show up in January. So let me see. And I was looking to see. I don't have it on my calendar right now, but sometime in January I'm seeing my doctor. So we got to get that heading back in the other direction. Okay. All right. So if I look at my daily graphs, pull that up here. You'll see. Let's go back to. Yeah, let's go back a week, roughly a week, because this only shows 7 days at a time. So last Tuesday, you see blood sugars kind of hanging out 140s, 150s. So Tuesday, so we were fasting starting Monday to Tuesday, and then Tuesday I think was when I started, or Tuesday I started seasoning food, cooking. And so broke my fast and started eating. So 130, 140, 130s, 140s at the end of that day on Wednesday. And then Thursday, and we looked at this on Friday when we did our check-in. So on Thursday, I had cooked the night before, so Wednesday. So right in here, I was cooking. And you'll see the result of that right here. So that's still some residual from me tasting and cooking food. And then I didn't eat anything, and blood sugar started coming down into the low 100s. And then I went to dinner, and we started eating, and so blood sugars climbed. So this right here, this is Thanksgiving dinner, and I think the highest it got up to 278, and then started coming back down. And then for the rest of, I guess, the weekend, we've been kind of straddling 150s, 160s. So Saturday afternoon, so I didn't eat anything down here. And then Saturday afternoon, my wife and I went to movies. And so right before we went, we ate. And so you'll see that there. And then coming into Sunday, hanging in the 120s, 130s. This big gap that you see right here, this big gap because my monitor went out. And I was out of the house and didn't realize it, and so I didn't put one on until I got back home. So maybe from about 9 a.m. to about 1:30, I was without this one. I still had the Libre, and then so that was Saturday, and then Sunday. Right, so here we did some more smoking, and then coming into today, and you'll see that blood sugar started coming back down. So this here is my, I shouldn't say my, I was going to say my attempt. This right here is my, okay, let's get over what was going on last week. So that's what you see here. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see what that is as we move throughout this week. Awesome. All right, so let's see. Let's get back over here. I think I hear some folks. Julian, I think Julian says oh yeah, we read that. I think every day is my new year, new you. And then Aubrey Potter. Aubrey said my first live to watch, but I just had my appointment with you last week, and I can say thank you. Number one, I have prayed every night since then, and my middle son has also for leading you to me. Well, thank you. And thank you for hanging out with us. Aubrey said, excited for this new, healthier life. I love it. Steve is saying, hello, Aubrey. And then Lightwork says, my next A1C is February after Thanksgiving. I may have to push it into March or April. Hate to feel like I'm chasing a number, but don't want to be punished because of the holidays. I don't want to be punished because of the holidays. So an interesting thought. I love that Lightworks. Now, so can I tell on myself? Yeah, let me do that. All right, let me do that. So I remember there were times in the past where, and I tell my patients, and I'll say it to you all as well. I'm at the point where I see myself when patients come in to see me. I see myself kind of as a mechanic. And what I mean by that is when you take your car to the mechanic doesn't slap you on the hand and say, hey, you should have had your oil changed. All they do is they say, hey, thank you for bringing your car in. You give them money. They put the oil in, then you go on your way. And I think for so long we have treated people as though we were the school teacher, right, with the little ruler and smacking people on the wrist. And so I get away from that. I'm moving away from that. And now I understand that not everybody that I see will buy into the things that I teach. Because some of the things that we teach, they are not traditional, right? Because traditional is like, here's some medication and let's get that blood sugar down. Now, let me hasten to say, I am not knocking the way we've done things traditionally, because it has done a tremendous job in keeping us alive and keeping people relatively healthy. So what we do, and I do traditional medicine in my office. When you come in to see me, if your A1C is 14, you're not going to go away with me just telling you to go home and fast. If you walk into my office with blood sugars that high, you're going home with medication. Okay? Let's just say that. So I love that. I love using that. But I hasten to tell people that's not where we want to stay. This is great for what we're doing right now, but this is not where we're going to be rolling. This is not where we're going to be surfing for the rest of your life. Right? So we've got to move in the direction of getting you metabolically healthy. And there are people who come into the office who we've been seeing for a while, right? And they come and the A1C is high, and they come and the A1C is high. They come and the A1C is high. And we tried this, we tried that, we tried the other thing. And at some point, I've got to say to them, I am not being of use to you. For some reason, we don't seem to be able to connect. So for some reason, I can't get you in that direction. And I think it's kind of like, I tell them, I say, it's kind of like, at your house. If you have a problem with your faucet or a pipe or your toilet, and you call a guy and he comes in and he fixes it and he leaves and the problem is still there. And you call the guy and he comes back and he fixes it and he leaves and it's still there. And you call him again, he comes back and fixes it and it's still there. At some point, you got to say, I need a different guy. And I'm not pig-headed enough to believe that I am the person for everybody. Right? So that there are times where I'll say to someone, hey, I think we need to get a different endocrinologist to help you, because for some reason we don't seem to be able to do what we do. Now, there are people who come and we are struggling, and I see them doing the things that we talk about, and because of life issues, they're having struggle. So those folks, we kind of come around, we rally around them and say, okay, now what do we do? How do we get that fixed? But for people who are coming in and they're like, well, no, I'm not doing that, and we're not getting that A1C, yeah, those folks got to go somewhere else. And I say that to say, Lightworks, as you're doing this, so there were times, and back to my story, there were times where I delayed my appointment in my past with my doctor because of the very same reason. But I've come to understand now, and as I've talked to my physicians, and you guys heard I have a new physician, my old physician sold his practice. And so when I go, I show up like I am. I show up wherever I am, because I need that person, that physician. I need them they're one of my team members. They're one of my care team. I need them to understand what's happened. All right. So whatever my A1C is when I go is what it is. Now, I strive to get my A1C, like I just said, I got to get that 6.5 down, right? But I show up just like it is. And then I have a conversation with the doctor and say, hey, this is what's been happening, okay? But I feel you. So that Juyon says, hi, Aubrey and Steve, yep. Cornelia says, hi, Aubrey. Yes, I thank God for Dr. Well, thank you, guys. Thank you. Appreciate that. And Aubrey saying, hello, Steve. Hey, Jiyon. Hi, Aubrey. Glad you are making positive progress. Definitely. And for those of you who are out there, one of the things that I want to kind of get you all in the mindset of as we get into the new season, one of the things that I would love to have is to have some of you come on the show, right? Like right here, and just like we're talking, and just tell your story. So it's not an interview really. It's just you sharing your story with other people in the community, so they can see that you are a real person, that you are getting benefits. Okay, so we're going to be working on that. So all our community members that are out there, begin thinking, okay, when are you gonna sign up to come on? Because I want you all to get on here, okay? And then Aubrey says, this is what I wanted and needed. I was the one whose anxiety was crazy. Your staff is amazing. Tell Jake, thank you for all the help with my blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, thank you for saying that. Today and bring you. Okay, awesome. Love it. Love all of that. So as we move into this month, our community meetup is going to be on the 19th of December. All right. So normally we would have it on the 26th, but that's the day after Christmas. So we're going to move it up 1 week to the 19th. We'll have that link out there. In fact, let me make one correction to it. and we can do that while I'm talking, and I'll put it there. So that is our date for the community meetup. So make sure you sign up for that. And our challenge for this month, we have a challenge every month. So our challenge for this month is for you to begin creating a SMART goal for next year. Remember, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound, right? SMART goals. So we'll talk more about that as we move into the future, but begin SMART goals. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to look back, just like we've done, the reflecting. And for you, right, I want you to write, and we'll have a graphic with this. I want you to write down 5 things that you have identified, whether they're positive or negative. 5 things that you have identified. When I say positive or negative, so 5 things that you've identified that you've learned from, whether it was something that succeeded or something that didn't succeed, right? 5 of them. And then what is a SMART goal, one SMART goal for the new year? Okay, so we'll do that. And then let me give me a second. We'll put that link in to the into the chat. Okay. All right. So as we move into the rest of the season, we've got 3 more shows that we'll do for Dwain Woode MD Live. 3 more shows we'll do for Dwain Woode MD Live on the 9th, on the 16th, and on the 23rd. Right. My plan is to do a show on the 23rd, unless something happens around Christmas that we've got to make some changes in our schedule. But we will have something there for you. But the 9th and the 16th for sure. The 23rd, my plan is to do a live. We will continue doing our check-ins like we do on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, up until the 20th of December. The 20th of December will be our last fasting check-in. We'll do a live on the 23rd. That's the week before Christmas. And then we will come back. So the week of the 23rd and the week of New Year's, the week of Christmas and the week of New Year's, we won't be here on a live show. All right. We'll have some more information for you. We'll have some features that we'll do. And then we will be back. Right. So I want you to kind of be paying attention to that. We will be back for Dwain Woode MD Live on January the 6th. Okay, so 3 more shows for this month, with all of our check-ins as we normally do in the week. We've got our community meetup on the 19th, and then after the holidays, after Christmas and New Year's, we'll be back on the 6th as we move into our new season. So begin looking for that, paying attention for that, and it's going to be just like we do right here. At 7 p.m. Central on the channel. Okay. All right. So let me do this real quick. Give me a second. I keep trying to talk and work, and of course that's not working. So let me stop talking. And I just need to grab this link real quick. Let's see. I'm gonna grab that and copy. There it is. Okay, so let me go ahead and drop that in the chat. Oops, not that one. Copy the invitation. Okay, there you go. All right, so I just put that in the chat, and that is the link for this month's community meetup. Make sure you get there and sign up. And please, if you don't get the link, because you're supposed to get once you sign up, you get a link with the information to get into the Zoom. If you don't get it, please check your spam or your junk folder, because sometimes it'll go over there. Okay. All right. Let's see. Any other questions? Let's see if I just make sure I get everyone. Yeah. They approve. It said, my husband was so impressed because of how you don't start asking questions. You wanted me to tell you and to explain things. At the end of the meeting, yeah, you just post link. The link going to reverse diabetes has not worked the last few times. Just in case, now folks try clicking it. Okay, so Lightwork, which link was that? The one that says the link going to reverse diabetes. Okay, let me just do that. I'll take a look at that. Say thank you for telling me that. And then Aubrey says, I would love to. I'm a hair educator and and my best friend is the head over education in the Highlands Medical Center. Ah, okay. Okay, cool. Would love to come on with you and tell my story. Oh yeah, I'd love that. So we got one person. We got one person already. So everybody else begin thinking about that. All right. So as we are moving into the future, as we're moving into the season, I want to remind you of your unlimited potential. There are things that have happened in the past. There are things you've done. There are decisions you've made. There are complications that you've had in your health. And you're thinking to yourself, oh my goodness, what is going to happen? What am I going to do? But I want to let you know from this moment, moving forward, you have the ability to change the course of your health. There are decisions you can make at this time, right now, as you're listening to me, as you're watching. You can make a decision that, okay, I'm not going to be like that. It's not going to go like that. We're not going out like that. Unlimited potential. It is within your grasp. It is within your finger. It is built into you. All we've got to do is provide the structure. We got to emancipate it. We've got to let it out. And we let it out with our Triple E formula for success. We educate, we empower, and we encourage. We educate with the blogs, with the podcasts, with the shows that we do. We educate because we want to do is we want to change your perspective. We want to help you to understand that there may be a different way of looking at it, a different way of doing it. We want to change you, let you know that you have the potential to be resilient. You can bounce back. You can make changes. We want to change your mindset. We want to give you a growth mindset and take away the fixed mindset. The fixed mindset said, all I have is what I have right now. I can't change. What I have from the past is what's with me right now, and I can't go any differently. I can't learn anything. I can't advance. I can't get any more degrees. I can't get any more education. I can't make any changes. That's the fixed mindset. But the growth mindset said, no. I'm making differences. I can be better than I am right now. I can develop a better outlook, a better perspective. I can grow into a different person if I make changes at this moment. So we educate, we empower with the tools, all the things that we learn, all the shows that we do, the challenges that we do. All of those are with the intention that you put it into practice. Don't just let it be theory, but you got to put it into practice. We do a challenge every month. Get out there and do those. And then we encourage. And we encourage with this amazing community that you are a part of, that you are joining, that you are seeing in real time right now. This is the community. And I love being part of the community because the community, it encourages me. There are times when I want to eat something. I'm like, well, no, I can't do that because I know Jennifer's going to be looking at my numbers. Or Steve's going to be guessing at my ketones. Or Teresa's going to be saying something. Or Jiyeon is out there and is having some challenges with fasting. So I have to be an example. I can be a community member that helps to support her. Right? Or Lightworks as he's moving through his health and making decisions and even being an example to family members. And of course, now Cornelia and Aubrey, they're here. All of you guys, amazing community. So thank you all for coming through. Remember, as we move also into or move in through the season, there are a lot of things that are going to push our buttons. For me, it was eggnog. It's Ben and Jerry's ice cream. It's right? All that stuff in my office. I had one person say to me, man, for an endocrinology office, you guys sure have a lot of sweets that come through here, because everybody brings us sweets. I don't know why. And I've got to make sure that I am not back in the kitchen just grabbing that stuff, right? And I love the fact that I am now aware of the things that push my buttons. And I can make plans for how to avoid those, how to not have them be as intense. Right? We learned the COPE model, and we'll do a graphic to show you the COPE model as we move into the future. Right? So habits, emotions, access, and taste. Habits, emotions, access, and taste. The pillars for reversing diabetes, decreasing insulin, suppressing appetite, and reducing sugar. Right? That's what we're doing. That's what we're about. The tools, the big tools that we're learning, insulin, fasting, and of course our balanced bites all hit the three pillars. Balanced bite says that we are fueling our body with everything that we eat. Every bite that we take has an effect on our body, and we want to maximize whole foods, minimize processing foods, avoid sugar as much as possible. Lean protein, healthy fats, starchy and non-starchy vegetables, tasty and flavorful, and portion controlled. That's what we want. Okay? And then when you show up, join the challenges, get in there and put them to practice. Make sure that you are doing those things, because those are what are going to help us as we move into the future, as we move into success. Then tell your story. Let us know what successes you've had. Are you having benefits with insulin resistance, A1C that's coming down, weight that's going down, coming off of medication, getting off of insulin, right? All of those, metabolic disease improvement. Let us know what's going on. And then invite a friend. Let everyone know that there's a space where they can come, where they have unlimited potential, where they can live limitlessly, so that they can set themselves up for success in their health. Awesome. All right. Well, as always, I'm always glad that you are here. I'm glad that I get a chance to hang out with you all. I'm glad that I get a chance to be in this space with you. And I'm pausing because I'm seeing one of the comments here. Teresa says she's getting an error while trying to sign up for Zoom. So let me go over there. Hold on a second, guys and gals. Let's see. Copy the invitation. Let me go ahead and edit it. Edit this occurrence. So December 19th at 7 o'clock. Passcode. Okay, I'll have to look at that. Apologize and see what I need to do to get it corrected. So I'll do that, and of course we'll be on later this week as we do our check-ins. We'll post that, and we will also be posting it as we move into our shows into the future. Okay, so we've got a couple of weeks before you have to do that, but we will be doing that. So come on and check back. If you have not heard from it, info at DwainWoodeMD.com. Let me see if I can write that. Info at DwainWoodeMD.com. And you can put that in the chat. Info at DwainWoodeMD.com is where you can send information for me. Okay? Awesome. All right. As always, this is Dr. Dwain Woode. So glad that I'm in this space with you. We'll be doing our check-in tomorrow, later this week. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Video from the vault Saturday night at 9 p.m. Central. And then this week in review, Sunday morning at 6 a.m. Central. And of course, we're back here in the saddle on Monday at 7 p.m. Central for Dwain Woode MD Live. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for being an amazing amazing community and being an amazing person to yourself as you are moving into better metabolic health. This is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here on the channel, I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, and go to the next level. And in this year, new you. Good night, everybody. We'll see you at our next show. Bye-bye.